Beverly Hills Chihuahua is a 2008 American comedy film produced by Walt Disney Pictures, the first in the Beverly Hills Chihuahua series. It is directed by Raja Gosnell and was released on October 3rd, 2008. The film stars...
Wait, did you say series?
Yeah, series. There's another one.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Yeah. I Chihuahua, dude.
Eddie.
Dude.
We sit here every week.
Yeah.
And we put together these silly little intros because I know that they love it.
This isn't silly, dude.
You're reading the synopsis from the 2008 film Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Can you put some respect on that, by the way? I don't like how you just, like, threw it out of your mouth right there.
Zach.
Hit the intro.
Just hit the intro before he moves on because I don't want to listen to Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Oh, God, he's starting again.
All right, I'm hitting it.
Hit the intro, please. What?
In Beverly Hills, California.
No, stop. We're back. Zach hit the intro. We're done.
Poppy the landscaper.
That peaked hard, probably.
Whatever, dude.
Oh, welcome to the Too Heavy Wrestling Podcast. Randy, Zach, Eddie. I made a promise to you guys last week that we were going to sit here and we were going to put together what we think was going to happen on night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. We have what?
I made a promise on the Reddit page that I'd read the Beverly Hills Chihuahua synopsis, but I got cut off of that one, so I feel like I should cut Randy off too. You know?
Before we dive any further into that, just for clarification, do we have a Reddit
No, we
page?
don't.
Okay, good. Just making sure because we don't need one.
No, we don't. I don't need fanfics
Now a
of us.
4chan page.
No, dude, don't.
Is 4chan still a thing?
Yeah, but we don't need fanfics, and we're too early in that phase.
We're too early. We don't have enough of a fan base to get fanfic out of us.
Yeah.
All right,
Randy
whatever.
and Eddie sitting in a tree.
Yeah,
I
you'll
don't
just be
wanna
the guy
hear-
watching in the corner.
Zach is in
So-
the corner watching for me.
All right, so Eddie and I pulled up the matches. If I miss one, we pulled up different articles. So if I miss
Well,
one,
I
he'll
did
pick
just
it up
throw
in the
my
feed.
phone. So-
Oh yeah, you do
Hold
need
on,
your
I'm
phone.
muting my mic while I go grab it.
All right, while you do that, I'll talk to the lovelies. Hey. So while Eddie's gritting his phone because he decided to overcommit to the bit. So we're going to be putting together what we think is going to happen on night 1, what we think is going to happen on night 2. Our ultimate goal is to come up with the most balanced card that we can think of to make night 1 and night 2 equally special.
Yes.
I also do want to correct something that I said last week. Because I did say boldly that my grandparents were born in the 1800s. And that's not true. My grandparents were born in 1908 and 1914.
Close enough.
So really close to the
Still
1800s,
really,
but
really
not quite.
old, though.
Yeah, those are my your grandparents that were probably born like around World War II. They had kids around then.
Dude, his grandparents
So-
knew Lincoln.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, that's how that works, dude.
So we're going to spend the next 30 minutes talking about my grandparents.
All right. Well,
No.
Oh.
All right, we'll go ahead and get to the cards. We're going to put together what we think happened in night 1, night 2. And then once we're done with that, there's a lot of important stuff that happened too on Raw and SmackDown this week. We'll talk about those, but first we want to get the WrestleMania card out of the way.
of course.
So, Eddie, go down your list and then I'll have my list up too.
We're gonna just go from like I guess bottom or top at CBS's case to bottom of the
Yeah.
list. So
Okay.
Roman versus Cody.
Yeah, so this one, I think we were probably going to put it there anyway, but Cody said night 2 during one of his promos.
Okay.
It's got to end night 2.
Yeah, so that's going to be the main event of night 2 for sure. Before we go any further, Zach, can you do me a favor
What?
and pull out your phone and take notes on what night we're putting what matches so that we can give a summary at the end of
If
this?
only I had a mic stand.
Well, someone had the great idea to hold mics this week instead of using mic stands.
You.
That was not.
Yeah, it was.
Me.
Who was it?
No, it was
No,
you.
it wasn't, dude.
It was. I'm gonna gaslight you into thinking it was
Dude,
you.
does this look like I want to hold this?
The way that I'm just like,
I kind of want to turn this into a lasso, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
well, your cable would.
I
not
know.
hold it.
We already tested that earlier.
All right, so main event of night 2, Cody versus Roman. We know that that's what that's gonna be.
So we also, at one point, thought that we would see 2 world title matches, and Cody would only target 1. Obviously, that got thrown out the window.
Yeah, that would have had to have happened by now.
But do we think leading after Mania, just to add some like more bulk to doing, do we think those titles will split?
I'm gonna bet yes.
I mean, I feel like we talk about this every other week at this
Yeah, I
point.
know.
But
I'm
it's still
bargaining on
worth
it being.
it's still worth talking about
Yes.
for sure. I think they will. I think they will get split up probably by SummerSlam. I don't know that they'll get split up leading to SummerSlam, but if they're going to do it at a pay-per-view, it'll probably be then.
It'll be established that Cody wants to defend both belts.
Like individually.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
That would be very nice.
And then he's going to lose one.
Yeah,
Who does he lose it to?
don't know yet.
And why is it Austin Theory?
It's not.
It's not Austin Theory. Don't put that in my
Finn
head.
Balor.
I don't know about that one either.
Who do you think it's going to
Well,
be?
I think
Eddie?
Gunther would be one of them. Well, actually, hold on. Hold
No.
on.
We got something to talk about with that, so we can hold a little
Yeah,
pin
Gunther
onto
is-
that one.
But
thing.
what do you think?
I think.
You didn't think that would happen?
Do not throw that at me, I swear to God. I think that by SummerSlam, Nia Jax is
He
going to
did it.
return. It's going to
You
return
did that thing I like.
to take one of those titles off of Cody.
Did you hear what I said? I said,
No, what'd
he
you
did
say?
that thing I like.
Yeah, it's your favorite.
No, that's not my
No, that's not
favorite.
your
Do
favorite.
my
I know your favorite is. No, I'll do your favorite later. We got to move on with this card. So Nia Jax is going to beat Cody for one of the belts leading up to
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
of course.
So after that, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley.
I think that'll be night 2 as well.
Well, Rhea did win the Rumble. So
Yeah.
it would have to main event one of the nights. At least
I kind of thought this might main event night 1.
I think that should main event night one. That's what I was going to say.
because they don't. If they don't, I think
that makes sense.
they've done well enough to establish that a men's match will main event one night and a women's match will main event
Right.
the other. At least that's what I think.
I think it should be Charlotte against Rhea main eventing.
Especially when the alternative is Belair versus Asuka, which is main event worthy. Don't get me wrong.
The build has
But-
not been.
Yeah,
The build
has not
hasn't
been at all.
been, versus the Rhea versus Charlotte has, especially
As
to
of
Eddie's
this
point
week.
because of the Rumble win. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, that is main eventing
so
night
that's
one.
main event of night 1.
I think from what other people were talking about, the build-ups for both, and I'm not saying I'm saying this, I just want to point that out,
Yeah.
that both build-ups for the world title matches have been dry, and the 6-person tag has been where it's at.
When you say both world titles, you mean both women's
Yes.
world titles? Oh, okay.
Like I said, up until this week for Charlotte and Rhea, for me, they needed physicality, but like the Asuka and Bianca, I don't know if it's wrong place, wrong time, or they're just not meant to be opponents with each other, but it's not clicking with me.
Well, because it's arguably two faces, right? Like Asuka's still kind of a face, especially the way that she's been coming to Bianca's aid whenever she's
Segments
getting
are
beat
just
down.
awkward, though.
Yeah.
I think Asuka's like, in retrospect, like her character can be like a women's fiend in a way, not like
Yeah.
completely.
Not
Yeah.
like with the supernatural.
But like,
part,
you don't know if you should like them or dislike them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's necessarily face, but yeah, she is misting Chelsea Green and doing that to all of these heels. So
Yeah, she's doing her shtick to heels.
Right.
So I think that's why their build up is a little weird because it seems like they were doing a face versus face respect match, but they forgot to take a couple weeks to show us that they respect each
Right.
other. You know what I mean?
I think the match itself is going to be great,
I think so too.
but
That match has the potential to be better than Charlotte and Rhea.
I think so.
I think it just became like I think the build-up just became weird just because the way Asuka came back, and then she just got kind of thrown in, and then now how awkward it is for each segment. The match will be great, but it'll be known as one of the worst build-ups to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. There are a lot of things that I haven't been feeling, and I think they had the right to do more with Rhea, but it seems like they're solely focusing on Dominic as the person pushing.
Well, and it was weird because Rhea won the Rumble
Right.
in the middle of this feud that she already had. So she like started this other feud, but still had to take the time, like even at Elimination Chamber, to have the blow off match for that tag team match. You know,
Right.
like that's what was weird to me about Rhea in general, is that she kind of got. They started her new storyline well before her current storyline was over.
I mean, maybe Mommy's giving Dami a treat, you know, and like letting him do everything to like kind of get the build up going.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Mommy is a very nice
Ugh,
and respectable
God.
person. Okay.
I hate. You also think they're going to be the tag team women's
Yeah.
champions?
I think we got 3 more spots. Maybe Mommy wants a little more that night. Maybe Dami wants a little more that night. Throw him in the women's tag or the Fatal 4-Way women's tag match.
Only if Nia Jax and Tamina are also a tag team in that match.
So is Nia Jax doing double duty that night also?
Oh, I guess you're right. She would have to
Yeah.
be. Hi, Zach.
What's the next match?
So the next match is Bianca versus Asuka. Which, what are your thoughts? Where do you think that? Because I have a place where I specifically think it'll be, but I want to know what you guys think first before I say that.
I don't think you should have 2 women's world title matches in the same night, especially if you're splitting them
Right.
up. So I think it should be the match, maybe not the match leading to Roman and Cody,
Mhm.
but like a couple matches before.
My guess is that it opens night 2.
Exactly what I was thinking. It opens night 2.
I could still see that though.
Because that would be a really good way to get the night started.
Right.
You know, with a title match. So I think that's exactly where that's gonna go. I think it's gonna open night 2.
Okay. No, I could see that though.
Well, I'm not gonna say that directly. Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
That's going to be a pre-main event.
You think that'll be the right
Ew,
before one of the
I
main
don't want
events?
it to be a pre-main event. Gonna get me all.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say, speaking of opening, I was gonna say that it might open.
Yeah,
night
that
one,
I'd
but-
rather have that. If you want to
Nope.
get me bored out of my mind, I think you do that as
Well, at least which night does it go first? Does it go night 1 or
I'd
night
hope
2?
night 1. Get it out of the way.
It's a night 1 match.
It's the
Please.
pre-main event to 9-1.
You think that's
Hey.
right before Charlotte versus Rhea?
Yeah.
I'd rather it.
Is it? It's not like a street fight or anything, right?
No,
It's just a.
but like Omos hasn't really. He does look a little bit better actually, based off of like some of the stuff he's been. But like being better does not mean he's good yet.
It's weird that a Brock Lesnar match to me does feel like it should be a cooldown
Yeah.
match, but it's because of Omos.
Yeah.
So you might be onto something with right before the main event of night 1.
I'd rather throw up.
There might be other matches that are better suited for that, but that's not a bad place for it. But I do agree that it should be night 1.
I agree with night 1 as well. Get it out of the way as soon as, my opinion.
I'm just putting somewhere night 1.
Am I being too
Yeah.
harsh by saying that?
By saying what?
Please get the match out of the way as soon as possible.
No, there are every
It's gonna be a
WrestleMania has
spot
at least
fest, so that's what it's going to be.
every WrestleMania has at least 1 or 2 matches that as soon as the bell starts, you wish it was over.
And that might even be what it is. I don't see the match going very long unless they try to really make almost feel strong in this in some way.
Yeah, I can't tell who's gonna go over, but both men will come out looking
I think Brock can
pretty strong
probably. My opinion.
because there's not a title on the line.
Exactly.
I think that's the opposite. I think anytime Brock Lesnar fights without a title on the line, it makes sense for him to lose.
I think we'll get an F5 in there, but I think it'll be a thing where almost just gets up.
I would love to see Brock Lesnar swing Omos over his shoulders
Yeah.
like that for an F5.
Had so many opportunities to like go over though. That's my problem.
Who, Lesnar or Omos?
No, Lesnar's gone over like any chance he
Yeah.
gets to go over. But Omos has had like so many opportunities. Like when like Bobby beating him, like that made
Yeah.
sense, especially for the trajectory of Bobby was going to go.
Yeah.
With Brock, he really can't go anywhere else. And based off what you were talking about, he was like, or I think what you were talking about, Zach, he was saying like goodbye to everybody or something like that.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar did start doing stuff like that, but Zach was the one talking about it.
But I like I don't know if he can that much because like I just think his in-ring ability is not there right now. Not saying they won't get better.
Yeah, Omos is just wrong time,
Right.
right place but wrong time. If he had come up around the same time as like Andre, where it's okay to be a little bit more
He's better
limited
than
in the
Great
ring.
Khali.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
even
mean
if
the Great
you,
Khali
if
is
you
like
flip flop those roles, like he was there with Great Khali instead.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
me. There's always going to be something.
They're gonna try and push him as a singles person, but he ain't gonna be like a Big Show, and he's gonna need to get pushed like a faction, or like with a
Yeah.
faction, and be the
I agree.
big strong person for that faction.
When are we gonna get this Hurt Business payoff?
It's gonna have to be after Mania at this point.
Mhm. I think so too.
I think
because there's
because
just too
Bobby's
much going on now.
storyline got kind of messed with. So,
I think so. I wish it was Bray versus Bobby.
but we will talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
That will pre-main event
yeah.
night too.
I agree.
with that too.
I definitely agree with night 2.
Wait, no.
Pre-main event though,
I think
I
that's
think
gonna
like
be-
match 2. Like I think this
Yeah.
is like kind of like Sammy and Johnny Knoxville ish, except less gimmicky. Where like this is gonna be at middle of the card somewhere.
I'd put that pre-main event. I think
You think
I
so?
would put that pre-main event. It's two really athletic guys. We know Logan Paul has really good spots. Like
Yeah.
I would say that'd be something to really amp people.
Could that be something that opens the show though? Only because they want the hype for the beginning of the show.
I think I do agree with that, but I do think Bianca Belair defending her title is more hype than Logan Paul.
Yeah.
That's why I think like maybe second or third match in the night. I think he's gonna be. I think what they'll do is they'll open with like Bianca and Asuka to like get people hyped for a title match, dip into a couple boring matches, and then they could use Seth and Logan to like bring it back up mid card, sinks back down a little bit main event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because if you're gonna be, you have a 2-night card, there's gonna be peaks and valleys of entertainment.
I see an opening match card that I want to point out, but I'll do that once we.
Yeah, but do we agree night 2 for sure?
Yes.
Okay. United States Championship match between Theory and Cena.
Say night one.
Night 1
Once.
is what my gut says too. I just, but again, I think it's somewhere in the middle of the card. This match, almost the same way that I just said about Rollins and Theory, or about Rollins and Logan, where it's gonna bring them back up. But I don't know. What do you think?
Probably middle of night 1.
Middle of night.
I would
1.
also.
Okay. Before we move on, though, does Cena take away the title from Theory?
No.
I couldn't see that.
All right. Well, then I'll play devil's advocate and say yes.
The only reason John Cena should win any more matches in WWE is if he's winning a world title to get 17. That's how I'm looking.
I agree. Because at this point in his career, he needs to be putting over young
Yeah,
talent.
exactly.
This could be the last like full-fledged match we get from him anyway.
Yeah, it's weird because he's not really that old.
Yeah, I know, but you consider the SmackDown match he just had. I mean, he was basically a stand-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just about done. But if he's not, I'd like to see him have one more title. You can even have have him win it one night and then I don't.
That just, I think,
I see
takes
value
away-
in that, but I also hate that because I just personally hate short world
I
title
think that
runs.
takes too much away from Theory at that point. It just proves
No,
that-
not the U.S. title. Not that. The world title.
the world
if he was
title.
to fight for a world title. No, not the United States.
I just hate short world title runs. I really do. That's why I hate Charlotte.
Yeah.
Hate Charlotte.
I don't hate Charlotte. I hate Charlotte as a champion because she has. I hate that she's a 14-time world champ, but if you took like 8 of those world title runs and put them together, it's like under 2 months.
You must
or
hate
something like
Sasha
that.
Banks too. He's had a lot of short.
Well,
yeah, I
what
wasn't-
this
I mean, I
era
lo-
is.
Yeah, I mean,
Last
I
four
love
title runs.
Charlotte, Sasha. They're amazing wrestlers, and they deserve to have these world titles. But I would much rather. I would love instead of Charlotte to be a 14-time world champ, to be like a 6-time world champ, but her title runs meant something.
Right. I agree with
That's
that.
what I would rather have.
We're in the women's division we have right now, or in terms of championship runs, is the late 2000s men's division.
Well, and I mean that's a good problem to have. You have so many people you want to get world title runs, and you want to bounce the title back. It's kind of like the Orton, Batista, John Cena, Triple H time, where it was just every 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
They would pass the belt around. I mean, that's a good problem to have because it means you have a lot of main eventers and you have a lot of people talented enough to be in that spot. But I just hate short world title runs.
Yeah. Just don't make them as short as they have been.
They're definitely a lot more. And you could say the same thing about, well, definitely the same thing about the 90s. There are a lot of main event that got the title passed around from like the late 90s, late 2000s.
Oh yeah,
like
I mean Triple H again, Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Stone Cold every 3 or 4 months, just and Mankind really for a couple times, just really tossing it around.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, after that match, we have the 6-woman tag match: Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control.
I think middle of the card night 2, based off of what we are supposed. If Trish Stratus is potentially turning heel,
Yeah,
I think that'd be a night 2 thing too.
I think, and it's not next. I think whatever night this goes on, the Fatal 4-Way women's tag match needs to go opposite.
Right, I agree.
So did you say night 2?
That's a night 2.
What do you think?
I'm playing what you're coming off of is
Yeah.
I would think because are these tag matches the Fatal 4-Ways? Are they for future title shots?
The only details that I believe we got last night on SmackDown was
Just that it's a Fatal 4-Way women's tag team.
they're having
and
2
men's.
Fatal 4-Way matches. Yeah.
If it is meant to be for women's title matches, I would think that the Fatal 4-Way women's match would be the night 1, and then you'd have the triple threat, or not triple threat, but the 6v6 night 2.
I could agree with that.
Yeah,
Where at in the card? You said middle?
I'd say middle.
it'd be middle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's night 2 is gonna be more the emotional night for me. I think it's gonna be Cody's match. If Trish turns, stuff like that's gonna happen on that night.
Do you think night 2 will be the night of like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened?
Yeah.
What do you think they were trying to do with the whole Trish getting attacked on Monday, I think it was? And she had the trainer's room promo and the backstage and all that stuff.
I think to show, I mean, she was getting beat up, but at the same time, it didn't look that brutal.
Yeah. It did.
So I would think trying to show, or trying to give people the idea that they're just trying to on the legend, but then secretly Trish turns on Lita. I think that would make sense.
Got it.
Or I hate to use the terminology, kind of a Dom situation, beat up Edge, and then what the hell? Or in this case, Edge being Becky, Becky, and then Lita's what the hell? And then Trish is I'm sorry, and then just turn.
There's a lot of people saying that Trish is going to turn heel against Lita, but what does that lead to? Does that lead to a one-on-one match?
I would like that if you're going to go that route.
When?
That could be a SummerSlam.
Trish, do we need, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love both of
Let's
these
see what they
women,
do.
But do we need Trish versus Lita?
I would think it would be Bayley versus Lita and Becky versus Trish.
The only reason I think that that's better is because whenever you have these legend matches, you typically need a younger talent to help carry them through the match. Trish might not need that as much, but Lita definitely needs it.
Lita is slow now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and she can still hit the moonsault, and she could probably still hit the twist of fate. So, like, good on her. Like, come in and do your greatest hits, but the other 5 to 7 minutes that's required for the match just isn't great. That's why I think the tag team spot was perfect for her.
Yeah, so I would think that it'll lead to a SummerSlam feud between the 2 younger versus the 2 older in singles matches, though.
I'd rather at that point I'd rather her not turn heel because I'm not interested.
I'm interested in them on paper, but for this story, I agree. I just don't think it makes sense for what you're saying, but I think that if Trish turns heel, but the ultimate goal isn't a Trish versus Lita match, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, ultimately, I was thinking that WrestleMania would have culminated with Damage Control still having the titles, but it was going to be Bayley and Trish versus Becky and Lita was the original thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, but now it's 3v3.
Yeah.
The tag titles aren't on the line.
I don't know what's happened. I mean, a lot of people were still saying Ronda and Baszler for the women's tag team championships at WrestleMania as
That's what I'm
late
saying,
as
though.
last
If it's
week.
for number
but-
1 contender shots or whatever, then that's where I think Shayna and Ronda should win.
Yeah.
You mean the Fatal
The Fatal
4-Way?
4-Way.
Well, we'll talk more about that when we get to
Yeah.
there
Right.
then, I guess. But night 2?
Yeah, night
Yeah,
2.
definitely.
Okay. Put that on night
I
2.
did.
Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell.
Actually, most excited for that match.
When he started cutting that promo, I was sitting here on the couch going, just say it.
Did it.
And Brandy was like, say what? And I was like, this is very classic.
He did that thing we like.
Yeah, I said, this is
Yeah.
classic Hell in a Cell lead up. And she goes, what? And then he said Hell in a Cell. And I was like, yeah.
And
Like, I
then
was so
Finn said,
excited.
I have my own.
Yeah. And then Finn said, that Hell rejected or whatever. So it's going to be Demon Finn Balor versus
Can't wait
Edge
for that, man.
in a Hell in a Cell match. So night 1 or night 2?
That's tough. It really is.
I'm saying night 1.
I would think night 1.
I think this will be the most exciting match of night 1. I think this match being on night 1 is the reason people will tune in
Right.
to night 1.
I think so.
I think if they're smart, that's what they'll do. What do you think, Zach?
I'm in the same. I don't like. Of course, I think it's been overdrawn and it's drawn out, but the consensus to me is that they'll play it out night 1.
I think this story is drawn out too, but I do think this will be the conclusion. I don't think we'll see or hear.
Right? No, I think once
No
this is
matter
done,
who
it's done.
wins. Yeah.
Yeah, Judgment Day. As much as it's been fine to see them on TV this much, and Rhea most likely winning the title at Mania,
Yeah.
it's time to see one of the men start doing well, and then this should be the start of the rise of Finn to me.
I think so too. I think as the head of this faction that matters.
Put Edge versus Finn Balor now. I'm not going to be that interested, but if you put Edge versus Demon, then I'm interested. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. Like,
Honestly, even without the demon, when they added the Hell in the Cell stipulation, I was excited for
You-
it. I thought that was
with
great.
the Demon, it's that
Coup de
much
grace
better.
off the top of the cell.
Dude, I'll freak out if they do a coup de grace from the top of the cell through like an announcer's table or something.
Edge.
It's a good way to snap an ankle.
Well, if he's
It's Finn that would be the one I'd worry
Yeah.
about. He is the one who has to do
no,
the jump.
I was thinking like Edge would top of. I'm like, no, that wouldn't be happening.
Are
Especially
you kidding me?
if-
You know Edge is going to the top of that cell,
No,
right?
he's just gonna do that like gnarly stomp where he just jumps and stomps on you.
What
Yeah.
if?
Through the cell top?
Ugh.
What if like a Triple H McFoley spot? Edge is on the doors, the Hell in the Cell, like on the top,
Oh,
and
yeah,
and Balor stomps through him, and they both fall through this. That'd be
That's what I'm
scary.
saying.
yeah, that would be
That'd be
awesome.
so
He's just
scary,
standing
though.
there. He's like, and then falls through.
There was a really cool thing. I think it was Finn Balor reached out to Mick Foley on Twitter and was like, "Any advice for the Hell in a Cell match?" And Mick Foley replied with, "Don't ask me, brother. I've never won one." Like I could show you what not to do,
right.
but yeah. So night 1 for that match.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, cool. Intercontinental Championship triple threat match between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre.
That's what I think's gonna open.
Open night 1.
Yeah.
Open night
Yes.
one. I agree. I think that'll be, again, get a title match, open up the show. That'll be really
Right.
good.
Gunther wins.
You think Gunther wins?
Either because if the rumors are correct and Pete Dunne does return from being Butch,
Who is that?
shut up.
Sorry.
There's two ways it could go.
Yeah.
Sheamus being Butch's protege, or not
Okay.
protege, but mentor.
Yeah.
But now he's back to Pete Dunne, so like Sheamus can win and that plays out, or you got Gunther who beat Pete Dunne for the UK championship back when NXT UK was a thing. So technically, I don't see Drew coming out of this with a win, but I would be very happy to see either of those two stories play.
I'd rather have Gunther.
You could have Gunther win and then Pete Dunne come back and challenge him.
Yeah, but then I think
Does
Sheamus
Pete Dunne
tries to stay
still-
in some way, because then he's like, oh, now you're going to be all mighty and
Yeah.
tough and not be with me anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's his affiliation with the Brawling Brutes after that, though?
I don't think there is. I think they've started showing that anyway when Sheamus was just back and not with them. Like, they haven't been on TV.
Well, they came out on SmackDown last night, didn't they?
I didn't.
I didn't watch it, but
I'm pretty sure they came out and, like, I could be wrong. It was either this week or last week, but they were on TV recently enough.
I just honestly hope that Pete Dunne gets what he deserves, because the bruiserweight gimmick is amazing to me. He's one of my favorites. So.
Yeah. I because of him, there's a bite mark on my World Heavyweight Championship replica.
Is there really?
I tried it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and I stuck it in my mouth, and I didn't realize how hard I was biting down, and I couldn't get the teeth marks. You what? Yeah, I know, right? I couldn't get the bite marks out of my strap.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Well, after that, we have the Fatal 4-Way Women's match. Where did we put Lita and Trish and all them? Night 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so this has to go night
Yeah.
1 then, right?
I would think.
The Fatal 4-Way Women's match. Now, it's not listed on here, but we do know that there's also a Fatal 4-Way Men's
So
match.
then I
They
would put
said
that
that.
night too.
Yeah, so Fatal 4-Way Men's match night 2.
So, team-wise, Fatal 4.
Okay, so right now we know Liv and Raquel.
Right.
Shayna and Ronda.
Shayna and Ronda, to Zach's
Chelsea and
point. I think that's a
Carmella.
really good one. Yeah,
Maybe.
I could see that. That's like on the list right now.
Natalia and
Tegan,
Tegan Knox.
right?
Yeah.
Natalia and Tegan.
Aye.
The thing is, there are Okay, who did Liv and Raquel beat last night? I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
I don't remember.
So let me look that up. Hold on.
Yeah, look that up, because at this point, I want to even know who the 8 women's tag teams are. Because
haven't
I
pulled
think
up
the
in a
tag
long-
teams we listed right now are the only actual tag teams. Everyone else is going to get thrown together.
Oh no, they defeated Emma and Tegan Knox. So Natalia
Yes,
wasn't even
Emma
in there.
Oh, okay.
What is wrong with? Okay, now I'm gonna
What?
get on another tangent.
You don't like Emma and Tegan Knox as a tag
Why
team?
are we putting Tegan with every freaking person on the
'Cause she
roster,
doesn't
dude?
have a spot in the roster.
But don't throw her with every person in the world to make a tag
Triple
team.
H's got to make his money back.
Yeah, but why'd bring her back if you don't know what to do with her?
I know what to do with her.
I know you know what to do with her. Put her in a match with Nia Jax, yeah.
If you put Tegan Knox and Nia Jax and you name them Tegan Nia Jax,
What?
and then that's their tag team name.
It's Tegan Knox. So you
Yeah,
beat
Tegan Knox, Nia Jax.
Tegan Nia.
What is it, Tegan Nia Jax or
Jackson
something?
Nax.
That's so dumb.
Jackson
No, it's
Nax.
just Tegan Nia Jax. That's their team name.
Okay. So moving on.
Well, hold on. Eddie asked a good. I mean, are those going to be the 4 tag teams?
I think.
What random tag teams are going to get thrown? Who's Dana Brooke going to be tagging with?
It's got to be Carmella and.
Look,
and-
okay.
Yeah,
It's going to be Liv and Raquel, I think Chelsea and Carmella, Rhonda and Shayna, and Dami and Mommy.
No, it's not going to be Dami and Mommy.
I'd rather have Dami and
What do you
Mommy than
say?
freaking Tegan Knox and Natalia.
Well, they lost. Well, Natalia didn't lose, but Tegan Knox lost, so she's
Tegan's
not
going to
going
be
to
in the
there.
next qualifier with someone else, and then the
Yeah,
next
they're just going to
qualifier
keep
with
doing
someone
that over
else.
and over
When he
again.
said Ronda and Shayna, I thought he was saying John Cena.
John
John
Cena.
Cena.
John Cena. You got a big mouth, John Cena.
But okay, so what tag teams are gonna lose though? Like Dana Brooke and
I think it's just going to be people thrown
Zelina
together.
Vega.
Brooke even
Shotzi's
wrestle?
got to be with somebody.
Oh,
Shotzi
Shotzi and yeah,
Shotzi and
and
Tegan
Natalya.
Knox were a tag team. That's my problem. We could have put them together.
I don't know. Like that's just I just don't know what other groups of women they're gonna put together to.
What happened with
over the teams that
Aaliyah
will
and
win.
Raquel? Aaliyah's been fine for a long
She's
time
been
now.
vocal about that. I think that's why they're punishing her.
Aaliyah's gonna come back and lose a qualifier match, partnering up with like, I don't know, who
Who's an authentic?
Tegan Knox again
Who's an authentic women's tag?
with Nikki. Oh yeah, I guess Nikki Cross has to be in there somewhere.
Hey,
Oh, Candice
wants-
LeRae and Nikki will be a tag team.
That makes sense to me. Like that makes more sense than everything Tegan Knox is doing.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, well let's do the men's. Who do we think are going to be the 4 men's?
I can tell you who I want it to be.
Who do you want it to be?
Be the Viking Raiders.
I think
Okay.
that is one.
I
Yeah.
feel like they're gonna put Braun and Ricochet. I don't.
They haven't even really been doing anything lately. have
Okay, good.
they? I don't think so.
We'll see what they do.
So I'm gonna say, honestly, Brawling Brutes, just like for that night,
Yeah,
or that match.
I think Street Profits.
Profits
They're not
would be
doing
good.
anything.
And
Another Raw tag team.
maybe
is-
Otis and Chad Gable.
Whoa,
Is Otis
Uh,
missing?
Otis.
Otois?
Otis.
They're
WWE
already
actually.
playing that. Oh, you see Chad Gable's shirt the
I
other day?
did.
Yeah, his jacket. He was wearing his American
There's no
Alpha
way
American
jacket.
Alpha.
Gordon's
Yeah.
coming.
He's a producer.
He's a producer, but he's been injured for like
Yeah, but it's been about 5 years now.
Fire.
I think very similar to Corey Graves. He's been medically cleared, but has chosen to stay retired
Right.
for a while. I think that's what that is because he was
If we get
concussion
American
protocol.
Alpha back,
Dude, I loved American
I
Alpha.
would be.
They were-
I'd love that too.
I would, if we can get American Alpha versus the Revival one more time ever in my life, I'll be
Yeah.
so
American
happy.
Alpha's tag team, or over in NXT tag team,
Yeah,
and then when they got to the WWE, they were
yeah. Well, that's how most of them are.
Yeah.
But
my hope is that this Otis split with Chad Gable just leads to that. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing I'm hoping right now. And him wearing that just makes me want it even more.
yeah, there were a lot of people speculating about that.
that'd be awesome. I would like
Yeah.
that a lot.
So who do we have in this match? We have I said Street Profits,
Viking Raiders,
Viking Raiders,
probably Otto, or Brawling Brutes.
Brawling.
I would like
Brutes.
Brawling Brutes, but that's
Who's
probably
another
not
Raw
happening.
tag team though?
What he said, Legado del
No,
Fantasma.
there's
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
Another Raw tag team.
Is there even another one?
I mean,
you
there's
know?
probably a big one that everyone in the comments is like, "Why aren't you saying them, you idiots?"
Because they haven't held a Raw Tag Team Championship in the past 400 days. Is that where they're at?
Well, they started this reign with the SmackDown
It would be
titles.
Gargano and Dexter.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I'd be fine with
Gargano,
that.
Dexter.
DIY.
DIY. They're gonna have Ciampa come back
That'd be
just
cool.
to. Ciampa is medically cleared now, isn't he, or is he still
I
injured?
thought he was.
Yeah, he's fine. He was on a match last week.
Ciampa had a
No, not
match last
Ciampa.
week.
You said Gargano though.
No, I said
Whatever,
Ciampa.
I don't care.
All right, moving on. So now we're on to some of the unofficial or like rumored matches. The tag team title match between the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which
This is all
We
but
will be-
confirmed as of last
we
night.
will be talking about what happened last night on SmackDown as soon as we finish up with these predictions. So, what night do we think that all of the Bloodline defends their titles on the same night, or do you think the tag titles go in night one?
Probably not one.
I think it would be night one, and I think they play it into night two. I think Roman plays their loss in night two.
I think so too. I would genuinely not be surprised if we were wrong about the main event of night one being Charlotte and Rhea,
could be main event.
and instead it's this tag team match,
I'd be happy if I was wrong.
and they do Charlotte and Rhea before.
I'd be very happy with.
I agree. I think it's a main event match for sure. Has a tag team title match ever main evented WrestleMania?
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
And these night 1 and night 2 main events are both counting as main events, so
And
I
it's
think
the biggest storyline in WWE in the last decade.
at least.
So
I think for sure I could see either one of those matches main eventing night 1, but I think both of them take place on night 1.
I mean, looking at it in retrospect, they are the one. If we're
Yeah, they are the ones.
and our tribal chief could probably get that match in the main event if he ever so kind enough. So,
Like if he pulled some strings.
obviously.
Yeah.
But
He's got some pull
I
as
think
the head
I
of the
think
table.
main event makes sense only for the story because it doesn't leave you wondering through the rest of the night what happens. It makes you wonder what's going to happen the next night.
Yeah.
So Kevin and Sammy win night 1. The Usos or whatever are not champions going into night 2. They're playing that out through the whole night. Does Kevin and Sammy try to make sure that the Usos don't come out to help Roman retain?
So that was the thought that I had. What if instead they clumped together the entirety of the Bloodline story into basically one long segment where the last 2 matches of night 2
is the
tag match and then the singles match.
The Usos just lost.
And
Roman
yeah,
has to
and-
play a match right now.
But I was gonna say, but everyone stays out there, where Sammy and Kevin stay out there to be in Cody's corner, and the Usos and Solo stay in Roman's corner, and then it's just
dude, it'd be cool if the bell just rung after that match, and they just get out of the ring. They're standing in each corner, and then the music starts hitting for Roman and Cody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They could do so. I don't think they'll do something like that, but it would be really cool writing in my head, at least, to just have like the last hour of WrestleMania.
Well, did you think that I mean, it's kind of obvious, but did you think that Cody would have gotten this involved in the story?
I think so. Yeah, only because it makes sense for his character to not just because. Yes, at the beginning, it was more about just getting the title shot at WrestleMania. And then once you realize that it is Roman that you're facing, Cody is smart enough of a person in character and in real life, likely, to know that you're not just facing Roman, you're facing the Bloodline. So it makes sense that he does everything he can up until then to neutralize the Bloodline as best as you can.
Right.
I think both should be main events, personally. So I wouldn't do that myself, but
I think it's definitely on night 1 though.
Yeah, I think
so too. If they don't do what I just described and have the last hour or hour and a half be the culmination of the Bloodline storyline, then yeah, have it be night 1.
Yeah.
But we don't even know what's going on with this match right now. Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt.
So Bray Wyatt out with an undisclosed physical issue.
Yeah, see, you keep saying physical issue. All the reports I kept reading kept saying illness. So they're not even straight on how they're getting it reported.
It went crazy on Reddit in the beginning of the day that he walked out because he went home during a house show at Madison Square Garden. And then Sean Ross Sapp came out and said that it was an undisclosed physical issue. And then multiple things came out that it's just some form of issue at this point. That they don't know the exact time frame of when he's supposed to be out.
So let's do it like this. Let's say if it is Bobby versus Bray, night 1 or night 2.
I would think night 2. I think that makes sense.
See, I was thinking night 1.
I don't. Well,
I get the only reason I guess it would be night 2 is because Finn and Edge are on night 1.
What do we say Brock and Omos were going to be? Because I think they'd have to be opposite of each other.
Yeah, that's probably more equivalent.
I'm just saying we're 7-1 in terms of or 7-5 in terms of matches, night 1 to night 2.
Where did we put Omos and Brock? Night 1.
I hope
night
it was
1.
Yeah.
Night 1.
So yeah, night 2. That's what I would think.
We'll put it. We'll go over this list and try to make it more equal at the end.
Is the men's tag match on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we put the women's on night 1. I think my gut just keeps saying Bray Wyatt versus Brock or Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley night 1, only because it just doesn't feel as important, I guess.
There's so much
why.
up in the air though, because
Shut up.
because of the fact that if Bray doesn't wrestle this match, we could get it being Howdy instead, and then Alexa's stuff's supposed to play out.
Well,
and
do
then,
you okay, but here's the deal though. Like, do you do that? If it's truly Bray Wyatt walks out, do you continue all of the storyline stuff around him in the hopes that he comes
Yeah,
back?
he didn't walk out. That was a flat rumor that was false.
Oh, okay.
It is because of an injury of some sort.
Okay, we do know that. Okay.
He never walked out. That was just a flat rumor. So
Okay.
it is because of a physical issue.
Okay.
So
if that's the case, then yeah, I guess you replace him with like Uncle Howdy is what a lot of people. I think that's what you were saying.
yeah, it'd be Uncle Howdy, and then I don't know, but that's just this match was poorly brought up anyway because of just creative differences.
Yeah, I mean,
I
honestly,
think it's because
that,
Bray's not there, and I think that's why it's been so flat. And Bray hasn't been a part of the storyline that much.
I'm wondering if that's why Uncle Howdy was who came out, not this past Friday, but the Friday before.
yeah, it could be.
I think it's still a night 2 thing, though, regardless.
So, like, even if they replace Bray with Uncle Howdy, you think it's gonna be night
Yes,
2?
I still think so.
Yeah.
Okay, my gut said night 1, so
That means you'd have to throw Brock and Omos on night 2 then.
You can have those two on the same
But
night.
I couldn't see that happening.
We'll see how the balance shakes out at the end, and we'll see what we need to move around.
Okay.
And then the last one on this list is the still unconfirmed Dominic versus Ray.
It's night 2. Night 2 completely.
Why?
Well, no,
I totally think it's night 2. That's
Because-
such a hyped match at this point.
they do it on both nights, but they do where they
Yeah.
bring the Hall of Famers out.
Yeah.
I still think that they're not going to confirm the match. It's still not even going to happen on the ceremony night. It's
Yeah.
going to be the night that one of the nights when they're out on the stage introducing the Hall of Famers, that Dominic's going to drag him to the ring and they're going to have a match.
What do you guys think about the rumors that Dom attacks Ray during his Hall of Fame speech?
Well, that's the other thing. I don't think it's going to happen during the speech. I think it's going to happen while he's standing out there.
Right, but I mean, just what do you think about that rumor, though?
I mean, I would like him to have his moment.
I do too.
I think they should play in like Dominic trying to get onto stage, but I don't think they should actually let it happen. I think it should be Ray gets his moment.
I think that if the Bret Hart thing didn't happen, it would be in better taste. But because that happened, I think
I don't.
they should just stay away from it.
I think that's such a night 2 match. I think it's like so hyped up to be what it has been hyped up pretty well to this point. And I think it's something where you have to put it on night 2 because of all the hype and what you're building around. Like you can put things on night 1, like
the logic that you're giving though means that all of the hyped matches happen on night 2 and all of the blow off mean nothing matches happen on night 1, and you just can't do that.
but I guess it's more bitter rivalry, so to say. Like you can have certain matches main event. And like this is a match where you could see, depending on the structure of the match, depending on what type of match you're going to have, you could put that in the main event. But that's not that type of match now because it's the first time Ray and Dominic are going to fight, and probably the only time I think that that's going to happen. But I think that it's something where it's like, okay, you are putting a lot around this matchup. I think the more, and this is no disrespect to Sammy, Kevin, and the Usos, but
Yeah.
unless it's the main event. Actually, yeah, that wouldn't happen. But I think it's something where it has to be on night 2 because I think the more authentic, like not authentic, the matches that matter more are going to be on that night, and except if you're in a main event spot.
The thing that I'll remind you, and not that you forgot, but I think it's worth bringing up, Stone Cold after 19 years came back and had his first match on night 1.
Yeah.
So like you can have important matches on night 1 that have good story and that are going to blow off and culminate a storyline.
I don't think there's a match on this card that doesn't equally mean something in the long run anyway. I think everything is, other than Brock and Omos, but depends on how that plays out, I guess.
A lot of things are ending this WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like a lot of storylines are getting tied up, and starting the Monday after Mania or the week after or whatever, we're going to have a bunch of brand new, fresh storylines. I would love it, honestly, if we did a draft. But like matches like Dom versus Ray, where it's more story driven and less title driven, that's a night one match to me.
I feel like
I don't think they picked that up. I said I think it's night 2 still.
I mean, at this point, we're at like 9 night 2 matches and 5 night 1.
I thought it was the
So-
opposite.
no, yeah, we had more night 1 than night 2.
Yeah.
But I think that in Ray's speech on stage, he will announce that he's retiring,
Likely.
and then that's what will lead to, no, I'm gonna come
Yeah.
beat you now.
Okay, well, he says night 1, or he says night 2, I say night 1. Zach, you're the tiebreaker. What night does it go on?
Because that,
What do you
did they
think?
announce what day the Hall of Fame ceremony's on? Is it Friday night?
usually
after
just
Yeah, it's
Friday.
probably
SmackDown?
Friday.
It's usually just Friday. They haven't announced that, but that's just.
I know,
like,
but they started doing the ring thing now, so where they just disband the ring and it's in the
I
ring.
guess. I have no idea.
How do you not know?
Also,
What, you don't know either?
a little off topic, but
Yeah.
they're already, I saw at least through something, WrestleMania next year's in Philly, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're not that much. Aren't that much from what I'm seeing.
Are you suggesting we go to
suggesting-
WrestleMania?
For content
Next year.
related purposes, we should try, or at least map out what it would look.
We can
can
talk
talk
off
about
air
that,
about
yeah.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
putting them on the spot on camera, so you guys know the content that I'm trying to produce.
We'll talk. We can have discussion.
Yes, we will.
But anyways, Zach's the tiebreaker. Ray versus Dom, night 1 or night 2.
I think it's a night 2 thing. I think it's the emotional
Okay.
match again.
Well, then put it on night 2.
This is
Look, just because there's 2 wrong people in this room doesn't mean
It's-
anything.
the only reason I say that is because if it is a retirement match for Ray, I don't think the emotion from night 1 should carry to night 2. I think that is a night 2 thing.
Let me put it like this
Yeah.
for you: Reign
Yeah.
Dominic match is more important than Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens. Voila.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly
I
disagree.
have
with
my
that.
reasons for why I picked night 2, but I think it's night 2.
I disagree with your vernacular. Because you're saying more important.
Yes.
I think that it is better. I think Ray versus Dom means more.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I don't think it's more important. I don't think there's a lot of matches I would say that are more
Stone
important than
Cold
Stone
and
Cold
Kevin
coming
Owens
out of
was a
retirement.
generational shift.
Yeah, like there's that match
Ray and Dom
means
is a
more.
not passing of the torch, but it's a father and son retirement match.
Yeah, like I think that it has its own little pocket of importance, but I don't think it's more important than.
I
Kevin
totally
versus
think
Stone
it's
Cold.
more important. That's my opinion.
I disagree with you. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
no.
I'm the in the middle bias between the two of you.
All right. Well, how many matches do we have on night 1 and night 2?
7 and
So,
7.
1,
be.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 7.
So we have it balanced.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you mark down what we said was opening match and what we said was main event?
I don't
Asuka
remember
and
what we
Bianca
said opening
night-
for night 1.
You
Triple
what?
threat for night 1. Asuka
Yeah.
and Bianca night 2. Opening.
Yeah, so I do have it down.
Okay. All right. Well, take us through the night 1 card. In no particular order other than opening match and main event.
So night 1, we would have the triple threat for the IC championship opening the night. Moving into Brock versus Omos, we would have Edge versus Finn, Cena versus Theory,
That's right. We did put that on night 1.
and then
Yeah.
Usos versus Kevin and Sammy, and Rhea versus Charlotte to close out the night.
This is the
It's
most
good
tedious
card.
thing I can possibly do. Is it Omos or Omos?
It's Omos.
They say Omos.
I think that's how it's said.
It's Omos.
Omos.
In WWE, they say Omos. All right. Then night 2.
Night 2, we have the opening, which would be Bianca versus Asuka, with Logan versus Seth. We have the 3v3 women's between Damage Control and the Legends with Becky. And then we got the Fatal 4 men's which I didn't say that for night 1 for the women's, but that was in there.
Yeah.
Bray versus Bobby, Dom versus Ray, and then Cody versus Roman to close it out.
Is there anything you would switch?
No,
I think we nailed it. I think that's a really good card.
Now we gotta play this out when we're on our live stream.
Yeah, during the live stream, which, by the way, we're going to be live streaming night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania, so you guys can come hang out and watch along with us. We're gonna keep a running tally of what we got right and what we got wrong, and we're gonna see how we did.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's our WrestleMania booking.
I want Kevin and Sammy.
Let's talk about Kevin and Sammy.
This is a
All right.
long episode.
I think we kind of goofed
You
around
gotta remember
for
the
5
first-
minutes.
The first 15 minutes of what you're seeing in time
Which you
is
will see sometime in the
nothing.
future. No.
Get out of here. So Sammy and Kevin finally hugging and embracing and beating up the Usos a little bit.
The gang's back together.
Cody being the peacemaker.
Yeah, well, for not just selfless but also selfish reasons.
Yep.
You know, he did that for them, but he also did it to help neutralize the Usos and completely take down the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So
Solo irrelevant right now?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately. I mean, they not only does he not really show up all that much anymore, but he has not been directly addressed as something that needs to be neutralized like the Usos.
Now, if they had an Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal this year, I would have chosen him to win, which I still wasn't
For sure.
taken out of the equation, but I think he would like
I
owned
think
that.
with these fatal 4-way matches, that's what replaced
Right.
those matches. So, but yeah, Solo kind of is a non-factor right now, unfortunately, which I disagree with. I think that he is an enforcer. I think he plays that role really well, but they just aren't talking about him, which is
He just
honestly,
happens
I
to
would
be
say,
the oddball. There's not a fourth person for that feud.
yeah,
You know who
I
would
don't
be a
know.
good feud for him that I kind of just thought of? Well,
Ricochet.
yes, actually, exactly that.
Who?
Ricochet.
Yeah.
Ricochet versus Solo would be such
It'd
a
be
good
like
match.
a Humaga Jeff Hardy type vibe too.
Little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're just like,
it's a really good match. But all right, so
Wow.
so we have that's why we think the Sammy and Kevin tag team title match is finally gonna happen. When do they make that challenge? Do they make that challenge on Raw? Do they wait till next week
I
on
hope on
SmackDown?
it'd
Raw.
be
we'll
nice
be
for
there.
Raw.
It'd be nice on Raw, and why is that? Because we're gonna be
There.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, what are you gonna be doing for Raw?
We're gonna do a little vloggy vlog.
Also,
Yeah.
first person to go up to one of us and give us a kiss at Raw gets a free T-shirt.
No,
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 that kisses Eddie.
no. And Eddie's buying that T-shirt. I'm not paying for your kiss. You little weirdo.
We're not an LLC yet. I can't put it on a business card.
Yeah. So,
I said free.
but if you do see us, feel free to come up and say hi. Take
With a
pictures.
kiss.
Put it on Twitter with the hashtag Too Heavy and then the name of the person in the photo. Too Heavy Randy, Too Heavy Zach, Too Heavy Eddie. We're not doing that. But Triple H is buddies with Lemmy. It's an old Randy Orton meme. But
Can you do that thing I like now?
no.
You said you
Um,
would.
Maybe we'll consider it. So what else happened? There's more important stuff than just the
Yeah, but that's really all I cared about, you know?
LA
Fair
Knight's on a
enough.
losing streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He lost to Xavier
On a
Woods.
roll up.
That's super exciting. The most devastating move in all of
And then
sports
he went up
entertainment.
to Rey Mysterio and said,
And
"We
got
can both
slapped.
be deadbeat dads together." That was awesome.
That was
Yeah.
really
Why
good.
do I feel
Yeah.
like this is playing up to a Legends moment? He's going to come out at WrestleMania and Stone Cold's going to come out.
Dude, I would watch a Stone Cold versus LA Knight match. There are still rumors about Stone Cold getting in shape for some sort of match.
Supposedly it was going to be Brock versus Stone Cold, but they didn't pay Stone Cold enough.
I don't need that match because I
We
don't
don't need to
Brock.
beat him up. Yeah, we don't.
I don't need Brock to not care about Stone Cold and kill him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't
They're
need
both
that.
friends with
No,
each other,
we're
though.
going to get in LA Knight.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't take this anymore. Yeah. And then,
Yeah. Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah.
dummy.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
A what versus yeah chant
Yes.
over and over again that
Yes.
leads to a match, I'm in.
Yes.
Night 1 or night 2?
Oh, do you think it'd actually be at WrestleMania here?
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing?
If just pie in the sky,
rumored.
if it is night
Maybe
1 or
really
night 2.
random on
It's gonna be
night.
random.
Really random on night 1.
That's a filler match for
Yeah,
sure.
that is a filler.
Like wherever they don't
It
have
might not
the
even
time.
be a match. Maybe it's a segment.
Yeah, and then they just beat up each other.
Yeah.
It leads to a match at
I'm
SummerSlam.
fine with that.
Stone Cold versus LA Knight at SummerSlam.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm betting on
What?
it being a thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I would like LA
What?
Knight to have something that like means something soon though. At the same time, title match, something that's fine. That I'm fine with that. There's nothing. That
Are you just talking to yourself? I might as well not even be here. Zach might as well not even be here. What are you talking about? What are you saying
I
over
want LA
there?
Knight to do something.
I want
That
the
means
We all
draft.
want him to do
something.
I want the
something.
draft to happen after Mania,
Yeah, night after Mania needs to have a
and
draft.
I need LA Knight versus Austin Theory.
No, I don't want
as long
that.
as LA Knight goes over.
I want an LA Knight versus Cody feud for a title. That's what I want now.
What?
Yeah.
I think you should get a mid card first.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's weird when people go straight to the main
I'm
event.
fine with that. Just
Unless you're AJ Styles.
I
then
think
it
he's the
makes sense.
caliber of it. I just want him to carry a mid card for a little bit.
I need him to do something. Like anything. Not losing to Xavier Woods. No offense to Xavier Woods, but I don't like why. Except unless it does lead to Stone Cold versus.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you
Yeah.
think about LA Knight and getting a title shot. Also, let us know based off the matches, everything we just said, what's going to be on night 1 and what's going to be on night 2.
Yeah.
Make sure you come hang out with us during the
Yeah.
live stream
Yeah.
so that we can talk to you. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us,
Yeah.
guys. Anything else before I?
Socials are
Oh, yeah,
Twitter,
Zach,
Instagram,
Eddie.
Facebook, TikTok, Tumblr, SoundCloud,
MySpace,
MySpace,
Friendster,
Friendster.
Napster.
Adrenaline in my soul.
In soul.
Something,
Cody
Rhodes.
Rhodes.
You can also listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, or Anchor. Randy's
Anchor has
releasing.
now become Spotify for podcasters. So sorry, just to throw that bomb on you.
He just wanted to rant at you real
finally
fast.
remembered it
I remembered it last week.
Yeah, he remembered it last week.
without me
Scrub.
looking at him though.
You didn't look at me
all
last
right.
week.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Like I said, leave in the comments what you think is going to be going on, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah. All right. Are you guys done? Did you stop recording?
Yeah.
It's just me and you now. Now it's us. Please join me for the next 20 minutes while I tell you why Nia Jax is going to win every match at WrestleMania. What? All right, fine.